So when you go into DeFi, what exactly are you guys doing? You're taking Bitcoin that you own and Ether and earning
Here's what
interest?
I want, Pomp, okay? I'm an investor. So there must be many other investors like me. I've made my decision to 3 to 5% allocation. Probably as you snuck out of me, I'm going to be moving it up because you're right. Gold's not doing anything for me. And
3 plus 5 is 8, not 5.
Well,
so you could get rid of
10.
all the gold.
It could get to 10. It
Okay.
could get to 10.
All right.
But we're bound by certain covenants just in how we manage the operating company.
10, I feel like, is on the upper bound of most conservative investors, right? So it still fits within the kind of bands, if you will. If you're a conservative investor, most of your focus is outside of crypto.
Yeah.
1 to 10% is kind of the band.
10's up there, Pomp.
5%
for an institutional investor, 10 is up there.
Yeah, of course.
Right now, that number for the big guys is 3%. They're happy and they want Bitcoin. They haven't gotten past that yet. Bitcoin is the property, the digital asset they want, and they want
it's a store of value.
Store of value, and you've been right on that. Can't deny that. Okay, it's a volatile.
Whoa, we might have to roll the tape back there.
You may have to erase that. But my whole point is it has inherent volatility. But imagine. So here's my thoughts about DeFi. Okay, I've got the vol. I know I'm going to be up and down 38% a year. That's what it's been historically, right? So we're seeing that. We've had a crazy vol right here.
We're literally recording this on a day that it's been down 40% in a month.
Okay, so let's say in my case, my DeFi company, of which I'm a large shareholder now, I say to the guys, look, let's put a bunch of crypto on our balance sheet. All right, I'm going to own a third of that balance sheet or whatever I own of the balance sheet. I want you to loan that out and get me between a 4.5% and an 8% yield. Now, of course, I have to market the change in value because it's going up and down, but I'm kind of agnostic because I'm owning it as property. I don't really care because it's an allocation. Let's say it's 5%. It's going to stay at 5. I'll change it every quarter, adding or taking away from it, but I want you to loan it out there. So the whole operation, the DeFi operation, is to start doing these contracts for me on an AI basis. So it can go look to the market, see what the spreads are on all these different opportunities. I don't want to get too complicated with it.
It's basically yield farming. What you guys are going to do is yield farming.
And then others that are interested, like I am, on taking their asset, and imagine if I could have, over these years, had a 5% yield on my gold. That would have been incredible. Well, I can on my crypto. So that's really what I'm doing in DeFi. And I think I've got the best team in North America. Everybody says that, but I'm backing this team because I've done a lot of due diligence on them. And I think, in the next few months, that will become part of our portfolio with a yield metric to it. So,
because what you're basically saying is you're going to keep the assets denominated in the asset, right? Yeah. So let's say, just for easy things, you have 100 ETH. You put that in, you want 8%. So now you're going to end the year with 108 ETH.
Staying in ETH.
Regardless of did the price go up or down.
I might go back to fiat to just pay some expenses, but I'm going to stay in ETH on that balance sheet. And you as a shareholder, go with me in the share price as my assets grow.
Do you think that, because this is a really important piece that I think the traditional world hasn't woken up to yet, sounds like you're now getting there, is once you leave fiat into crypto, you don't go back.
I don't want to go back.
Okay.
Why would I?
Well, I don't know. You tell me. How do you think about it, right? So you've got 100% of your assets. You've said, I'm going to take 3, I'm going to put it into crypto.
Yeah.
Maybe that goes up, maybe it doesn't, whatever. But let's just say it's 3 to 5%, whatever the allocation is. Once you put that into crypto, why are you not going back into fiat?
Well, the reason I would come back out, let's say our covenant is a max on 10, which is most institutions, that is max arena.
Okay. All right. So 10 is the max allocation to crypto.
Because if you're going, you basically, if you have LPs or you have other shareholders or you have other constituents, you've told them you have a covenant of diversification and it might be 10%, whatever it is. But it's not much higher than that. So when you get to 12% at the end of a quarter in your crypto, you're going to trim back to fiat. You're going to go back to 10%. Or maybe, and then you just sit in the weeds waiting for a correction and you buy back up to 10%. I've been buying.
You bought the dip.
Well, it's not really a dip. It's maintaining the 3% weighting, right?
Yeah. No, but I'm saying the dip in the price.
Yeah, I know. But to me, it's okay. We're 2.4 and we said we're at 3. Buy up to 3. Because we've had a correction. You can't call that's a correction. We just had.
Well, I mean, look, in 2017, there was 6 over 30%, I think, right? There was 40% drawdown. So it doesn't feel good, right?
No,
when the asset draws down, but it's not atypical for the kind of historical bull runs, right? Which again, if you tell in the traditional world, hey, there's going to be two 40% drawdowns, but you're going to go up 20x in a year, they're like, I'm out.
Well,
right?
they don't like that
I'm out of this.
but in this case, you end up with more coin after that correction. And then you're out loaning it out and you're getting and with that volatility, you just got 200 basis points more yield. People don't understand vol is good for yield. It's not good for your stomach.
Yep.
But it actually helps you mine yield from your crypto. And so when you understand those smart contracts and how it's being loaned out, and I'm getting way more sophisticated. So I look at it now with my team saying, okay, you could even put leverage on this if you want, which we don't. But I think that's a crazy chicken move. But you could really goose your yields.
Why are you only targeting 4.5 to 8%? Some of these can pay 20% or 30%.
What's your duration? What duration?
Well, that's what I'm asking you, right? Is it just you're saying, hey, I want to be able to earn the 4.5 to 8% forever, and the 20 to 30% is only there for a couple of weeks or a couple of months? Like, how do you think about yield versus duration?
So what we don't have is a long history of what that curve on duration looks like. You just don't have it. We're all pioneers in this. And because I'm a bond guy, I've been a bond guy for decades. And so what I look at is duration and quality. You can't work with that yet. We don't know. So I said, look, let's keep our contracts short. Let's understand the change in the deltas. Let's understand, how inefficient the market is when there's a lot of volatility. Let's just gather our own data. Keep our powder dry. Let's only loan out 50% of our positions until we understand how it works. And I should also disclose I'm working with some of the larger corporate DeFi guys. I've opened accounts to manage some of my company's balance sheets. I'm putting up to 5% of our fiat currency into a strategy like this on our balance sheets. I don't talk about that too much, but I'm letting you know. I'm saying, guys, we're in, let's have an operating company that's sitting with, $30 million in cash. Let's put $1.5 million into this strategy. We'll open an account. You'll understand how it works. You're the treasury. Let me show you how it works, how I'm doing it. Let's disclose to, if they're private, we just have to disclose to our LPs what we're doing. I haven't anybody said to me, no, I don't want that. Everybody wants to learn. So instead of making nothing on our cash, which we're basically under inflation, we're losing money on our cash, we're picking up, we're doing better than 4.5. That was a few weeks ago when coin was very stable. Now, like today, you can get 7, 8, 9, as you know. So it's not impossible. And so I think it's
why only put 5% of the company's assets? Why not do more if it's just yield? You're not taking the price risk necessarily in terms of that's the goal.
Because the compliance departments are all in that, let's tiptoe in. You know the concern. It really is a 3% number right now. There are some at 5. But here's the thing that everybody should understand, because I live in this world, the potential is huge. You've got less than 1% of global corporations even thinking about crypto right now. So as time passes and they see examples of what I'm doing and others are doing, and they start to tiptoe in, you're talking about billions of dollars that are sitting on balance sheets making nothing. And so it's going to become, that's good and bad news, because the more money goes into that, the less yield you're going to be making. There's going to be a lot of competition. And so, but right now I'm tiptoeing through the tulips, almost double-digit yields. I think it comes down commensurate with the volatility. So here's the thing you understand. I don't want to get too complicated, but let's say when you put a lot of Bitcoin on your balance sheet, you're going to have vol. You're going to have volatility. The criticism of Tesla we've been watching. They showed on CNBC today all the balance sheets that have, crypto on it, they're all down because people think, oh, woe is me. They've got crypto. It's going to affect their balance sheet. It does, but at the same time, they're loaning it out if they're smart, and they're bringing in yield that they never used to make on their cash. So over time, when people understand this, it'll offset it.